I shall march to victory upon the skulls of my enemies. I know, it's very realistic, isn't it? Here we are at Shay's Throat Saw, and we're going to be playing with Commander Zaz this evening.
Hello again!
Hello, where is he? Where is he? There he is.
Hidden away in the corner.
Hidden away with tea, very important. And a lovely map there, an Alan Partridge type ancient map. He loves them, so he does. Okay, so we're going to be playing 1,000 points. Zaz's third game, I believe.
It is.
So we're ramping up. He's done two demo games. I think I filmed the last demo game, didn't I? And I think you pretty much kicked my butt too. So that was a good one. So we're going to introduce command cards today. We're going to go to 1,000 points, which essentially allows me to put in a HQ and a few, scouting units to do a few of the special rules, but without going overboard and just losing us in the mire of special rules, etc. So we'll go over the armies first. 1,000 points. Scourge, I'm playing with Vizir Dan. Vizir Dan? That was the last report, I think. Vizir Zaz, playing the PHR. He played the Scourge last time, and he's elected to play the PHR. Perhaps
because PHR are awesome.
There we go. Perhaps he loved the way I moved them, perhaps. So let's go over my army. I've got what's it called? It's a Desolator, I think, isn't it? The Desolator flying tarantula of doom. Pezzapoo's actually convinced me to get an Overseer. He's made good arguments there, so I'm looking for one at the moment, just trying to find the model. Obviously, the distribution's a little bit in the air at the moment with the company being taken over by TT Combat, but let's hope all is for the best with the staff at Hawk, and that they're all doing well, and that the company carries on and starts making new models soon. Come on, TT Combat, make those models for us so we can buy them and make it profitable. So that's my rant over with. So there's my commander. Then we've got our first kind of main battle group, which is your standard collection, really, of Hunters and Reapers. So we've got 3 Hunters, 3 Reapers. The Reapers are actually a support choice for the standard choice, and they are taken into combat by the Marauder medium dropship. Then we've got my infantry. Again, we've got pretty basic infantry. We're going with the APCs. It's something Dystovian keeps telling me I've got to... well, no, it's not that he tells me. It's that I whinge that I never use APCs because I can't afford them in army lists. And Dystovian just goes, well, just give it a go then, which is fair enough, isn't it, I guess. So I've chosen 3 units of warriors in their invader armor personnel carriers, and they're all being taken into combat on a Marauder dropship. Then we have a heavy group. Look at that, heavy group with my Slayers. 2 Slayers. Points have allowed me only to use 1 base of Razor Worms, evil Razor Worms, elite infantry. Will eat anything, can't pick up objectives, however, so there's a pro and a con to those. And then the heavy group is supported by 2 Reavers, air to ground gunships. So there we go, that's 1,000 points. Command value 2, I've chosen for both sides a level 1 general to keep it fair. So I've tried to essentially mirror the armies as much as I can. However, you'll notice the weakness of my army is I only have 1 source of anti-air. So whatever you do, commanders, don't tell Commander Zaz that. We shouldn't tell you, should we? No, good.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay, on to the PHR force. Here, the height of arrogance, the PHR running around telling everyone they're right all the time. Yes, we have 1,000 points of post-human republic here. We begin with a walker that's actually fallen over. Let's put that walker up. Mighty. There it is. It's not for falling down, is it? Okay, so we've got a commander, level 1, as I've mentioned, with a Zeus, which is flanked by a companion Odin, and they're taken into battle on a Neptune medium dropship. Then we have a standard pantheon of walkers, which is 2 Ares. It's probably going to be quite good against the Scourge with all their skimmers. The Ares with a special rule to allow them to more accurately engage skimmers. So that's a useful thing. And really, I shouldn't have chosen those, should I? Hey, remember that. Put that as a note. Yes. Anyway, so yes, with Phobos as well. Phobos anti-air, which is the first of 2 sources of anti-air that I've put into the PHR for Commander Zaz to use, and they are carried into battle by the slow, ponderous, but stalwart and firepower heavy, Njord, with its multiple missile launchers slung under the front pylons there. A really good model that I'm using more and more and I'm finding more effective. Then again, in mirror to the Scourge force, we've got two units of Immortals, slightly better infantry, but not quite as many of them perhaps, with armed Junos, armour personnel carriers, all carried into combat by a Neptune, probably one of my favourite models of the whole game. I think the beautiful lines there, sleek and sinuous. Talking of sleek and sinuous, the Sirens, the elite women infantry with their mighty magnums, shooting the head off of anyone. Absolutely disgusting if you want to try and destroy them. Extra saves against falling masonry in buildings, and very, very stalwart in combat. Very hard to kill them with a 2+ dodge in close combat. Taken into battle on a Triton light dropship. And then finally, I don't use these very often, so I thought, use them. And every time we talk about them, they're really good. So I don't know why I never use them in actual battle. So I've chosen for Commander Zaz 4 Janus light walkers. They're pretty good, I think. They can hide behind things well because they've got a small profile. You can get your cover saves easily. They've got a strength 7 shot, which is shape charged, so they can engage anything with some hope of doing some damage to it. And also they're kind of an auxiliary anti-air unit. So you've got 4 shots coming out of that. 4 shots coming out of that unit, strength 7, which is pretty good. I mean, look at the Phobos. There's only 6 shots coming out of that, 2 of those. So, I think hopefully they'll be useful. And of course, they're scouts, so they extend the command radius of Zaz's command cards if they are sphere of influence to play, and they're carried into combat again by Tritons. So there we go, 1,000 points of PHR. Here, an eagle-eyed view of the battlefield. You'll see the 4 counters there on the buildings. We're going to play for 4 objectives this evening. So what that means is you have to get into the building with some infantry. You have to search the building on the second turn of being in the building. You roll a 6 in the first turn, 5, 4, 3, etc. in turns after that. If you find the objective, you get a victory point. If you get the objective off the city's edge, then you get another victory point. So finding the objective is good. Do you go for another objective after that, or do you get it off the cityscape as quickly as possible? That is the tactical conundrum that you enter into. All of those are big buildings, you'll notice, so we're going to assign those, what do you think, 30 or 40 points each, Commander Zaz?
I think these 40
for the big ones, good. And then for the littler ones we'll go for 30, and then for the really little 30 for everything else. 30 for these ones, yeah, and then 20 for these ones,
okay,
and then 10 for these really little ones. There we go, lovely. Great, and we'll roll off and start off our movement on turns, etc. Command unit. There you go, the Desolators creeping up the left flank. Whatever could it be up to? I don't know. I put warriors into the central building there to look for an objective in the second turn. Is it APC there? I also put warriors, their little APC there, into this building, kind of in my half as well. You shot at a building, didn't you, with troops in it? Was it the central building?
It was actually, I shot at 2 buildings. I
That one?
shot at this building first,
Yep.
causing a massive 3 damage. However, this building
There's nothing in it,
was
so
unoccupied.
that's right. And then the central one?
Central building, yeah.
2 points to that.
I caused 2 points
2
damage.
points. And no falling masonry, luckily for me. So good. So I then pushed my Reavers up there to see what they can do next turn, as well as what have I got there? There we go. As well as another Marauder there. Can you see the Hunters there? There we go. The Hunters have dropped there, hoping to do some ambushing next turn, as only the Scourge know how. I pushed my anti-air tanks. Are they the anti-air tanks there? Oh, I lie. Sorry, the anti-air tanks are there. So those are the anti-air. Those are the Reapers there. So the Reapers are there, and then the Hunters have gone down in cover right up. Look at that, hidden around the corner It's like the Scourge creep up and try and do people when they're not looking. Isn't that weird? Very sneaky of them. Not very honourable, is it? And then the Slayers are actually still in that marauder there. And I just ran them 24 inches into enemy territory just to see what he'll do about it, really. And, challenge his positional play. So, what have you done, Commander Zaz? Let me come round to your side of the table. I didn't play any command cards, incidentally. Oh, and you run the roll-off, didn't you?
I did indeed.
But you elected to go first.
Yes.
So bringing the Nord up and starting to shoot at the building. Yeah,
yes.
Fair enough. That's good.
Okay, the first thing I did was I brought this tiny little thing, which is Neptune with Zeus and Odin in it.
That's right.
2 gods of war.
2 gods of war.
To shoot at this big building over here.
There we go. So they're going to be in position to do that this turn.
Then what I thought I would
Turn
do
2, yeah.
is start basically looking at the central mass. So my Njord came in here, still carrying these. That means I'm carrying them.
Mm-hmm.
Upside down is code for I'm carrying
them.
I
see.
That shot at this building, doing nothing. Then in came my heroic Neptunes. First off, dropping off my APCs and taking this building here.
There we go.
And then second off, this over here we have these pithy little...
The Janus.
Yeah. Which have no guns, so are officially useless.
Oh no, the Janus have got guns. It's the Tritons that don't have guns.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, the Tritons, which I will be beating Andy round the head for not giving guns.
But they did 20 points.
Guns.
20,
Lots of guns.
Zaz wants guns, ladies and gentlemen. Tell us in the comments, do you think Tritons should get guns automatically, or should we still have to pay? Should we still have to pay for them? Luckily,
no armed force apart from the British would have a frontline battlefield transport that does not have guns attached.
There we go. Tell us what you think.
And we have crazy people called paratroopers, which just madly... I know other countries do, but I was a crazier.
Yes, there you go.
So then we have the Janus, which have come out here and are skittering like little dinosaurs forward.
Yes, they do look a little bit like kind of running dinosaurs. Yes, I see what
do.
you mean.
I can imagine them running into a building and stealing an egg and carrying it off.
Oh, that cute. Very good. Good. On to turn 2 on that note. So, end of turn 2. That was quite interesting, actually, I think. Again, not a lot of...
plenty of fireworks
Lots of fireworks went off. So, what did I do? Yes, I popped the... Desolator around the corner there and let off its grenade. Now, I had command cards that are actually quite good. They're actually quite useful. I'll tell you, I don't mind telling Commander Zaz what they were. They allow you to make your skimmers more survivable by giving them +1 to hit. I think that's how it works. Problem is, of course, it's on a Desolator, and you have to be so close to your skimmers to use it, especially with the command value that I've got, that I can't actually kick it off, because I would then, as soon as I use the weapon, blow up the skimmers I've just made harder to hit. So hey ho, never mind. I can't really use it. But then, as I say, it's a game where I, on purpose, kind of didn't choose a scouting unit to kind of show Commander Zaz what scouting units can achieve. So I moved that up, and I did do some damage. I killed 2 Janus with its grenade-like attack. That was okay, because it's anti-air. So that's quite useful. I've got rid of two small amounts of anti-air. I searched with my infantry in the building here, didn't find anything. The building here found something, found an objective, got into the APC that was there, moved off the table, because it's got a boost, you see. You can go 3 extra inches with an invader armoured personnel carrier, which is really great. The Scourge are quite good at that. If they lose their dropships, for example, their APCs are still really quick and can be very useful. What did I do as well? And I just moved... I'll do Zaz's turn first, and I'll really explain what I did to react to it. So what did you do, Commander Zaz?
Okay, so...
The Grand Vizir.
My first activation was I had some immortals here.
That's right.
Surrounded by hideous, ugly worm things.
Ah, yes, I spat them out. That's what we did. That's right.
So the first thing I decided to do
Yep.
was, as you do when surrounded by monsters, search for treasure, search for traps.
That's what you do, isn't it?
The result was I managed to find something.
That's good advice, Commander.
So we then got into an APC, which skedaddled off the board, securing me an objective.
Because where you left your APC, it was within 6 inches of the end of the board, so it just drove off.
The other APC...
It's ground its tracks.
Had troops jump into it.
That's right. Where's that now?
Over here.
Oh, you've put them upside down to denote that they're in there. That's fine.
And then what happened was, it shot at the building, not doing any damage.
Those troops in there have been so lucky this turn, haven't they?
And the... Yeah, what carried out?
I think your Nord also shot at that building.
Sorry, the Neptune then shot at the building, doing 1 damage.
Yes.
And then
no
it was
falling
back
masonry.
over to Andy. But also, my Nord did do some damage later in the turn.
Later in the turn. Right, so then, essentially, what happened was, because I'd set up this ambush, I put my hunters behind there, behind that building there at the edge. Let's get the angle. There we go. Oh, dear, I can't get the angle. There we go. There we go, behind here. There they were. And now... and I put my Reavers behind there, so that they could jump on that building. They did actually shoot, didn't they? And I think they shot at that building and did destroy 4 out of 10 of your Immortals. So that's not bad.
Yeah, they weakened them heavily.
That's right. But then the Immortals activated, found the objective and ran off with it. So I've been completely outmaneuvered because I put my Slayers there as well to put the Razor Worms in, thinking that he'd be there for a couple of terms. You know what I mean? Because that's what you'd expect, isn't it, Commander? You'd expect him there for a little bit. And then I could munch on him with my Razor Worms and I don't know, kill him off with Slayers when the Razor Worms are dead, and he'd still be there. And that just didn't work, did it? Didn't work. So I've put essentially loads of tanks on this flank in order to attack this building with his Immortals in. But he just found an objective and ran off. So about 2/3 of my army, of my firepower, is now stuck on a flank with nothing to do. So you can't get downhearted by these things. You've always got to take into account the independent will of the enemy. I have a plan. I had a plan there. I wanted to do that thing and destroy his Immortals in that building. Okay, Commander Zaz had another idea and did something. So how am I now going to react to that? And that's the point about Dropzone Commander, isn't it? It's about movement of troops. Can I keep my dropships alive? Can I then utilise them to redeploy troops and materiel after something goes wrong? So what I did is I got the hunters from behind that building there, put them into the dropship, I've sucked them up, and I've spat them back out on essentially Commander Zaz's back row. So we'll see what they can achieve now in the ensuing turns. So what else did you do then, Commander Zaz?
Well, actually, something I did do in an attempt to counter your great big grubbly monster.
Absolutely,
grenade,
yes.
I had a strategy called White Nano Machines.
Ah, yes.
Which gives a 5-up passive save to a single unit. I played it in the hope that it would reduce the damage to my oncoming Janus. It failed, but hey.
But hey ho! But it was a good use, and this is Commander Zaz's
strategic use.
It was.
However, the dice were against it.
It was, but this is Commander Zaz's first use of command cards, and I think he used them very intelligently there. So
what else happened? Very briefly to cover my turn was my Odin dropped out here in preparation for next turn.
That's right.
So I'm presenting a threat to either this building or his commander. And hopefully they're tough enough that the 3-up passive from
That's right, the 3-up passive save from the Zeus
will keep them alive.
Hopefully
Meanwhile, my Janus run a little bit forwards and shot at the building, doing 1 more damage.
Well, it's interesting that you've also got kind of an auxiliary air cover for the command unit there as well. The Janus are providing that, aren't they? Good. Okay, so on to turn 3. You see, now the problem with commanding drop zones is that new people come along and you teach them to command a drop zone, thinking they're gonna do well, they're gonna have fun and stuff like that, and then they start pulling off crazy bloody things that make you really worry that you're going to get overtaken quickly. So what did I do this turn? And we'll come to the sneaky trick at the end, shall we? Yes. So my Desolator hopped over the building from there to there and let off his plasma grenade in the middle of the enemy army. It did a bit of damage to buildings around, didn't damage anything in the buildings. It took off another Janus.
Yeah, one Janus.
And failed to wound the command unit, which is not really a great surprise. Command units of that type, but made up of heavy walkers, are designed to take fire and not care very much. So well done there. I pushed into Commander Zaz's centre in order to start taking out his infantry threat. So Commander Zaz has superior numbers of infantry and superior infantry too. Its quality is also better than mine. So I decided to try and hamstring his infantry. So essentially I used all my tanks. The hunters came around the side here, like so. Moved. Where are the hunters now, Commander Zaz?
Are these the hunters?
No, those are the reapers, aren't they?
The
They're
hunters
there.
are
There they are. And they attacked the APC that had just come on there, didn't they?
They did indeed.
Yeah. The infantry inside are fine, but essentially they're far away from an objective, and there's nothing they're doing for the rest of the game, really, practically. So that was useful. The hunters, the reapers in the same battle group, then engaged the where are they? Where are the reapers gone? Where is Commander Zaz's finger? Can you show me there? There we go. You see how well hidden. You see how well hidden the Scourge are. There we go. You see that's why they're so sneaky. There you go. So yeah, they they engaged a Neptune that had another armoured personnel carrier on it. That's a better view of them there. There we go. And downs that Neptune, didn't they?
They did indeed.
So the infantry, however, spewed out close to the building and were able to deploy into that. Oh no, they haven't deployed into that building yet, or they have?
No, they've not deployed into the building yet.
They're on the ground still, are they?
They are indeed.
So they can deploy into that building. You'll notice that building's empty. You'll notice it's empty. That is because Commander Zaz essentially emptied the magazines for his entire army into that building. It's only on 14 points left. He's done 20, 30, 26 points of damage to it so far, like leaving it on 14. If my mathematics is correct, someone correct me, and I'm sure people will. So yes, his Nord shot at it, his command unit shot at it, his Neptune shot at it. This is a drop zone commander. That's what that is. That's what you do, is you unload your magazines into offending buildings where there is enemy infantry. Commander Zaz has learned very quickly, in my opinion. Then what he did...
Yes, artillerists, do you see that building? Yes, my lord. I do not wish to.
Indeed. So then, he was always all the way over there, his sirens. There they were. They were, past tense, were. He searched, didn't find anything. So what did he do? Well, what I did was put infantry, because the infantry that came off, found the objective last turn, came off, they came back into readiness, and back on their APC, and went into this building thinking, yeah, I can sneak an objective off before he notices. No. He took his sirens from there into an APC. The APC, not APC, the light dropship. He doesn't like light dropships. They're not, you don't like them, do you?
They're rubbish.
They're really good, though. They just got you there really quickly.
Anything else could have done that with a gun.
He's bitter about there not being a gun on the Triton commanders. He is. He wants a gun. He really would like ordnance on Triton. Let's ask for that, shall we, commanders? I don't know.
Why do you not give me Dakar?
You'd have to pay in points, wouldn't you? You'd have to pay in points. But hey ho, there we go. So he put sirens into. They're in the they're in the lobby at the moment. So I've got to turn to try and find things, but it's really worrying because those sirens are essentially going to annihilate 3 stands of warriors. So I evacuated warriors from that building there into their APC. They got into their dropship, which is currently there and speeding towards there in the hope of at least holding up the sirens, if nothing else. So the point is, we're now on 1 objective each, which we've got off the board. We're at 2 points each. That is now a cursed building. That's got 14 hit points. Both of us can take that out. So that's really that's a nice piece of play by Commander Zaz, that to lock me off from there. And it's actually very much the style that I play, stopping people doing things while I try and do things. So I think Commander Zaz has picked that up very well. So I think that's probably as good as an overview of that turn as we've got.
I believe so.
I think I forgot. This is not unlike me. I forgot to use the Reavers. But that doesn't matter. That's what you've got to remember to do. It's what you've got to remember to do. So I remember to move them this turn. Okay, good. On to turn 4 now. Good. Is it for turn 4 already?
Yep.
My goodness. There we go. We're going to finish the game at turn 4 because of the pure devastation and the fact we know what's going to happen now. We've essentially prosecuted all of the objectives to a point where we know what's going to happen. So you'll notice a large gap in the centre of the board there. Commander Zaz essentially destroyed that building.
It deserved to die.
There we go. Now, he could have put infantry in it, but he knew that I had demolisher tanks about. Essentially, all of these Scourge basic tanks have a demolisher rule attached to them. So there would have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots, all demolisher. It would have killed the last 14 hit points of damage or whatever was left. So it was a good decision, in my opinion, for him to destroy that building. So let's just go from activations, really. I immediately activated the infantry group so that Commander Zaz didn't trigger infantry engagement and kill my 1 unit of troops. However, he just killed all my troops. I think at the last turn you killed most of my troops, didn't you?
In the first turn of... we simulated the combat for the next turn.
Yes.
But basically, sirens in close quarter battle are just...
They're just
silly.
Crazy good. There
is, 4 units, was it 4 or 6 units of Scourge Warriors you had?
Yeah, six bases, some damage, but not very,
6 bases for 2 units, well, 2 bases of Sirens is an inconvenience rather than a challenge.
That's it. It took 2 turns to wipe them completely out. So the Sirens were left in possession of that building. We'll come to that objective
Although you
later.
did kill 2
I did
Sirens.
manage to, that's true, over the 2 turns. In the second turn I managed to kill 2 Sirens, which is good.
I'm offended by this.
But then, later as we play on, there are other rules that help you heal your own troops. So that's something that we'll be learning about when we start using Hades and Medusa, etc. So, other than that, what I did is I again moved, and again I was completely, and we'll come to that at the end of the battle as well, I was completely outmaneuvered in this game. It was a happy thing as well, in a good way. It was great to have such a kicking outmaneuvering in this way. It was most enjoyable.
It's not what you'd expect from PHR.
It's not what you'd expect from PHR. But Commander Zaz's movement was excellent. So essentially, I swung everything, absolutely everything I had. So hunters, reavers, my slayers actually got into a dropship. And just moved up to the centre of the board. Is that them there? It is, isn't it?
Yep, they are here.
There we go.
Unimpinged.
In an attempt to get the 1 unit of razor worms into that building to combat the Sirens, but they weren't in time, simply. But that was my only chance of combating the Sirens. The only thing that could really put enough dice forward to damage them. They still would have won, in my opinion. But last ditch attempt. So, other than that, all my firepower came round. Engaged the Phobos, I believe, wasn't it? The Phobos, and killed one of the Phobos. Again, I wanted safe passage for that Marauder to come forward with the razor worms. It's all too late though, but never mind. My anti-air engaged the Nord, which is still alive, but only on 1 damage point. Is that right? And that's really my turn. I only had 4 battle groups, so Commander Zaz also had a good advantage there. What did you do, Commander Zaz? You destroyed that building. There we go, and that locked off that objective. So essentially, what Commander Zaz did is he didn't think about what was happening to him. He thought about what I was doing, and this is excellent generalship for those learning. Excellent generalship for those learning, because you've got to think about what your enemy are doing. You've got to think about how they're trying to stymie you, and you have to stymie what they're doing. So what he did is he abandoned this, and that's a big thing, isn't it? Once you've got something, you're thinking, well, next turn my dice are going to be a bit better, I'm going to get the objective now, but then I could get the objective. What he did is he went for the gambit. He went for that objective. Now we're going to call it at turn 4 because we know what's going to happen. So what we did is we did 2 simulated rolls to see if in the final 2 turns Commander Zaz would have found the objective. Sadly, he did not. So strictly, we end the game in a draw, because there's nothing I could do to take those Sirens out of there. With the saves that they have, I could unleash my entire army. I couldn't drop that building. I have no infantry left to actually take an objective, because he's wiped out all my infantry, and well done on doing that too, and that's a key strategy. I've got the razor worms. The Sirens would have killed them eventually, and the razor worms can't take an objective. So it was brilliant generalship by Commander Zaz, in my opinion. But he rolled those 2. He rolled unluckily and sadly did not find the objective. And if he'd had the objectives, he would have won by 1 point because he'd have had the objective at the end of the turn.
I will say as well, if I'd have got lucky and managed to grab this objective, I had a sneaky little card here called Underground Monorail.
Ah, clever.
Which can connect to buildings. So in theory,
yeah,
if I'd have got lucky here, I then could have sat on this objective very quickly on the last turn of the game.
Turn and looked at it. That's very clever.
So
very clever indeed.
I also still had the little...
the Trident dropship.
Trident, which if I didn't have had that card, could have done the
True,
same
true. But then, you know, we've proved the amazing use of the Trident dropship, I think, in this game. The Trident dropship was key to what Commander Zaz achieved, because unarmed though it is, obviously that lightened the load and enabled him to get from building to building all the more quickly, enabling them to pull off a coup.
Quickly?
What
Guns. Guns go quick.
So, as I say, Zaz activated his Commander Zaz activated his command group, which did that do the final shots to drop the building?
Yes, yes, it did.
So essentially, the Nord shot this building. The command group shot the building. It came down to the Neptune, in fact, didn't it?
It did indeed. Yeah. The great building slayer.
Yes, indeed. And I do tell people in our little sojourns, in our little theatrical performances, that you do have to use all of your firepower. Never forget to shoot anything, as I did indeed forget in this game. So I must learn also. You have to shoot everything, all of your dropships. Every little gun counts, and it works. It works, and it stopped me getting an objective, because earlier I knew what he was going to do. I knew that building had one more turn, and I had to take infantry away from an objective, and that cost me the victory in the game. So finally, my final tactic strategy was to bring my anti-air skimmers over there. I was racing them to left, as you see it, to go behind that building there, which I could have done in the turn. And then, as Commander Zaz, if he tried to get a Triton to get troops off with an objective, I could destroy him in the air if he chose to do that. And obviously, if you destroy an objective in the air, it just gets destroyed. So that would have been good. But Commander Zaz didn't fall for it. He just kept those sirens there. And he could have found the objective and just sat there. But I was lucky because he rolled beggar all for the last 2 turns. And that's it. So, finally, that I say, I was absolutely... And my final thoughts on the game is I was absolutely outmanoeuvred. I pushed up. I saw a concentration of anti-air power and command power on Zaz's right, on my left here. And I pushed my command unit, my Desolator, up there to explode his grenade. And I think I really overestimated what that grenade could do. I think perhaps I should have just attacked the building with its demolisher cannon. Its beam.
I think on that first turn you used that, you rolled quite lucky, so it gave us both an unrealistic concept of how damaging it is.
I think that would be fair to say.
Because I know I reacted to it, and it was very difficult for me to ignore that and focus on blowing up the building.
It's powerful to be able to put that many hit points of damage in one turn, but it doesn't really destroy units. It does a lot of damage, and then you have to use the rest of your army to come in and clear up. I think I probably would have been better to use my Demolisher beam weapon on that to, say, attack that building where your sirens are in it, try and drop the building, or to go and help drop another building that you were in. Maybe. Because what it did as well, because I was using the grenade, it pushed my other forces away from my command unit, and it got stuck out on its own.
It's a nice
it got isolated.
Strike bomb.
Yes.
But then after that, I think a turn sort of charging it straight forward, planting it, setting off the grenade, and then after that running away and using the beam.
Yes, I think that would be correct. So that drove forces away, and really it wasn't a bad move. It was just lucky Zaz got the 6 and got that objective. Because I was really going to stymie him. I wouldn't say that my right hook punch was a bad idea. It just didn't work. And by the time he found that and got off, that was essentially I was always playing catch up from that point. So if I did something wrong, I overcommitted. So I put the hunters behind that building there. I shouldn't have put them that far out. I should have put them up the centre there, so that they can then redeploy across the centre of the board later.
Yeah, what you failed to do was you've got a lot of fast manoeuvrable things that can just leap over me.
Yeah.
And what you concentrated on was playing my game of engaging in a battle here.
Yes.
Whereas what you actually could have done was gone, okay, I've taken that objective, I can't occupy both of these, just come over instead and take the objectives and
yeah.
run
I
away.
mean, that's kind of what I was trying to do in moving. Maybe
But
just get in
then
the
I
dropships
think
and
you
do it. But
got-
I certainly couldn't
Yeah.
do that before I killed your anti-air. Because you'd have just shot me out of the sky. Because your anti-air was good, this game.
It was.
You used it well, I think.
I didn't have... It's... The thing is, you have 3 fast dropships.
Yes.
And if all you'd taken out was my anti-air and totally ignored my ground firepower,
Yeah.
you would have had a total free reign.
Kind of, yes.
Because you can just outrun me.
Yeah, I'd have had to hit the deck eventually. Yeah,
Yeah,
but as I say,
little bit.
I think I think your walkers dominated in the centre though pretty well.
I think it's very interesting having played both. The massive difference between the way the PHR and the Scourge play. They are totally chalk and cheese, because the Scourge, they're not fragile by any stretch.
No.
But they are so fast and tough and aggressive and swarmy.
They're all over you. They are all over.
Whereas the PHR, basically, it's almost like you keep them together and march up the board.
Yes, I agree.
You're kind of almost
a phalanx.
Yeah.
And indeed, that's what their battle groups are called. They're called phalanxes. You have an Immortals phalanx, a standard phalanx, a heavy phalanx. That's
like
the whole
a
point.
Phalanx army,
Yeah.
where you choose what you are going to destroy and you take casualties as you do it, but you just don't care.
Sci-fi
Because-
hoplite.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're beautiful. Again, I cannot say how impressed I am by the models for Dropzone Commamder. They are absolutely beautiful. Everything fits together well. I have to say, if you've not played this game and you know where you can get a demo, go.
Because, and also we need people to play, because it's being taken over at the moment by TT Combat, the company. So we're hoping that they invest well in it. And keep the game going. So we need them to make the models and get out there and promote it. So we're doing our little bit today by doing that and getting a new player involved in Commander Zaz, who's just kicked my ass. So I'm never playing him again.
It was
so
an honourable draw.
it was an honourable draw in the end. Yes, I did. We did actually manage to get one objective off in each, and I played like a git to get that far. So brilliant. So in our final words, I like to give a quote to each of the winner. As we both won or lost, what would be your final little quote from your commander for all the commanders out there? What would you like to say to them? On behalf
Victory
of
requires blood, sweat, and sacrifice, and it's knowing when to do each.
Excellent. And my final word is, well, apart from my normal final word, my final word for the Scourge is, we're lovely really, there's nothing wrong with having a little wibbly jellyfish in your brain. It's actually quite comforting, you'll find.
Nom nom nom.
Yummy. So, in the middle of the night, when your plasma rifle has jammed and you have nothing but a grenade and a cigarette lighter, keep dropping and keep commanding.